Thank you. Jimmy Yoakley, Board Chair of the Surrey County Board of Elections, and call this meeting to order. August 19th, 2025 at 4:16 p.m. I'd like to read, first before I read the roll call, as far as who's here. Mr. Carter? Here. Mr. Stevens? Here. Mr. Field? Here. Mr. Comer? Here. Yeah. Thank you. We also have our director, Michelle Huff, and we also have our board attorney, Mr. Mark Payne, and guest, which we welcome. I'd like to read the conflict of interest statement. As the Surrey County Board of Elections, we have a duty to avoid conflicts or appearances of conflicts of interest. Does any board member have any known conflict of interest or any appearance of a conflict of interest with respect to any matters coming before our board today? If so, please identify the conflict or appearance of conflict and refrain from any participation in the particular matter. And we have no conflicts presented. So with that, would like to move into the chairman's remarks. Last night, our board presented to the County Board of Commissioners. We had a very spirited discussion, and we will discuss more from a personnel issue in closed session. But we appreciate the opportunity from a public statement standpoint that we had the opportunity to present. And we certainly look forward to maintaining a very positive relationship with our County Board of Commissioners as we go forward. Wanted to share too, there are a number of new laws that are in the process within our General Assembly that continue to move through the stream. Yesterday, President Trump made a statement that was published that he is committed to greater election integrity and has made it clear that he is encouraging Congress to take action as promptly as possible as far as passing a law that requires a more strict identification of citizenship. DHS has completed a technology project, as I was reading, that was similar to our discussions last year about how we would verify citizenship, take a proactive approach rather than a reactive approach. Supposedly they have a new software that they're going to be rolling out for all states to participate in. It would require states to give DHS access to their voter rolls. There are some concerns with that by various groups, but that they would be proactive in providing information to the states as to who is a legal and lawful citizen in this country that would make them eligible to vote. And there would no longer, and this would apply to all federal elections. So any year that we have a federal election. So we'll see how those progress. Part of also what he's outlined for Congress to include is 100% paper ballots, 100% hand counting, doing away with tabulators, and also completing a full audit of all races, not just up ballot races. It would include down ballot races. So just wanted to share that. We'll see what happens with how our U.S. Congress approaches this and how fast they act. That's all I have. Regarding the approval process of our minutes of June 22nd and 29th, if all of our board members will take a look and make sure that we are as accurate as possible. And once everybody has completed, I welcome a motion for approval or any changes or corrections.
We want to make one correction on the July 29th, 2025 minutes. The top of the second page, elections should be capitalized, director of elections. Okay, when you're doing that, maybe that one can be for the board signature.
Okay.
You're okay with that?
I'm okay with that.
Thank
Yes, thank you.
Move to accept minutes.
We have a motion to accept the minutes as presented and also corrected for the 29th. Do we have a second? Second. We have a second from Mr. Carter, a motion by Mr. Field. What does the board say? All approve? Any
Aye.
nays?
Aye.
Okay. Passes. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Mr.
in
Field.
your comments, there's something else that's going to take place pretty shortly. There's going to be a challenge to President Trump's rulings and stuff. The challenge is going to be, how do we count the citizens? They're going to change, they want to change it to only citizens may be counted in the census.
I have
That's
read,
coming up at us pretty
I
fast.
have read that as well.
Just wanted to make sure the board was aware.
Good point. We obviously have said many times before in the since 2022, we've seen probably more changes than in any period of members of this board have seen, which go beyond the last 2 or 3 years. And we are likely to see more coming between now and midterms, and certainly more before the next presidential election comes. So this is certainly going to require us to do our homework and keep up with the laws and make sure we're applying the laws as they are implemented. And the role of elections continues to be more challenging with each and every year that we continue to serve. So our team certainly is going to be facing the blunt of that and carry the heavy load, but we're gonna have to be here to help and support every way we can. Okay. We now move into public forum. Any public comments?
Thank you, Mr. Logue.
Yeah.
Ken Badgett, I know most everybody. It's good to meet the new folks. And I came today to publicly thank Michelle LaHuff for her service as elections director. I've been active with either precinct work. I was chief precinct judge for years at Dawson #3 and worked with Angie Cruz, and after her, Susan Jarrell, and then with Michelle more than 25 years, and as a candidate, a couple of times.
Right.
And this office has always been run in the most professional manner. And I know folks who work in elections offices around the state, and what I hear saying in their offices doesn't apply here. It's just always courtesy and professionalism. And with everybody involved for 25 years, with a couple of exceptions, there are a couple of board members who had some issues a couple of years ago, but that's an exception. And we're looking forward to that continuity and courtesy, and I've always been treated very well. The other candidates would almost all would say the same thing, and we appreciate that type of service and leadership. And I would say Michelle has been among the best public servants in this county ever, and we appreciate her work. And thanks for all your work, and looking forward. I like to keep up with the board's actions and what they do, and other folks do too. And happy to stay in conversation with people about it in a very polite and courteous way. And like Mr. Yoakley says, we have to follow the law. I may not like some of the things, Mr. Yoakley may not like them, other folks may not, but we are committed to the republic and to elections and to making sure things are as fair as they can be. And again, thanks to Michelle, thanks to Mr. Carter and Mr. Yoakley and the other board members. We appreciate your work. And I think you're right, Mr. Yoakley. It's going to take a lot of effort the next few years to keep up with things and to make sure everyone's treated with courtesy and respect. And I know you'll do that. And if you don't, Mr. Carter will.
I know he's got my back.
So we appreciate your work. And again, thanks, Michelle, for your.
Thank you, Ken. I appreciate you.
Thank you, Mr. Badger. Appreciate the comments, and we feel much the same way. As we said last night, we had three choices. One was to try to convince her to stay in every way we could, but we realized very quickly that was not a realistic option. And so we needed to move on to the two other options we had. So anyway, we're going to miss her, and she's done a fantastic job, at least from my perspective in the short time that I've been on the board. But I think our board members would all agree.
Amen.
We have great leadership, and that's everything. And we see it when we go to the state conference. We see the differences when we're talking with other members at other boards of elections, and we know how we do things. We hear how they do things. We think, sometimes we scratch our heads. So we all have to apply to and uphold the same law, but it's a question of how intentional and how committed they are and we are to follow the law. So,
Thank you.
But thank you for that. Any other comments? Anybody online? No, we're good. So we have completed the public forum, and now we will move into the 2025-2027 precinct official appointments, a very important task. So, Madam Director.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chair. With you, we'll look at a chart here of the appointed precinct officials for the 2-year term. And as a reminder to the board members that this is in your election law 163-41 that does speak to precinct officials. And that's why this meeting had to be today, because this is the date by statute that we are required to officially appoint. This board will either vote to accept or not on each of these, and you'll see it's broken out by precincts, reflecting 23 of Surrey County precincts. And just to point out a few things sort of in code, so to speak, to save space. If you see OOP, like for instance, Dobson Combined, that is out of precinct. That means that person is out of precinct.
Okay.
And when that occurs, just know that we have done all we can, along with the party chairs, to find an in-precinct person. And it has not happened as of yet. So we are at the date where we do have to accept. Now, granted, know that this might change. There could be sickness, there could be illness, there could be some emergency that comes up where this might have to change. According to what the precinct official appointed, what role they hold, what office they hold, sometimes this board would need to vote on that replacement in election period. But we've never had that issue, thank goodness. Also, the numbers below their names, that is in yellow, that is how many elections they have worked with Surrey County, not years, but elections. You do see a few zeros on the list. Let me point out that all but one is due to, that is what the party has recommended. There is one, Marsh, Mrs. Lowe, you see there, that is a Democrat judge. He has 0 years or 0 election experience, but we did lose a longtime member, Mr. Chenault, who served in that role, passed away last year. So we did have to replace his presence. He was, again, a longtime judge for us, but she has stepped up to serve in that role. So that's why she has a zero service time there. Any questions from the board? Again, no, we do our hardest to get party balance as best we can. In Surrey County, we do have 2 members of Democrat Party here, but I don't think this would be news to them either. In Surrey County, we do have a hard time getting balance with Democrats. Just the numbers, registration numbers are what they are. And so you do have 6 chief judges that are Democrat, 13 that are Republican, and 4 that are unaffiliated.
Gotta give her.
And
I'm impressed. There's only 3 that are first timers on all this entire list.
yeah, now, Clark, we will add more too that aren't appointed, but
I
more
understand,
volunteers, but yeah.
But that's good.
I agree. I was thinking the same thing. I mean, it reminds me of team sports. We've got a great group of veterans. We've got some mid-experienced players, and we've got some rookies.
Yeah.
So
Michelle, did you get a list of potential judges from both parties in a timely fashion?
We did, yes, sir,
You did? And
Yes.
were they listed by precinct?
they were.
Are there anyone, is there anyone on that list who's not included here?
There was only a couple, Terrell, and both the Republican Party chair, from the Republicans.
Mhm.
The Republican Party chair and the second in line, is it Jeremiah?
Jeremiah, yeah.
He and Chris came over, sat down, talked with Sydney about that. She explained, for instance, I'll give you one, the Monterey combined judge, Republican judge. They were very adamant for that person to be the chief judge. We explained to them that
What now?
Mount Airy combined, if you see the Republican judge to the far right,
Mhm.
Yeah. You Barron?
that particular judge was suggested by the party as a chief judge.
Okay.
Okay.
But know that that is a very, very heavy, busy precinct on election day. And a very hectic, that's where we put the most employees besides Dobson combined.
Right, the most experienced.
The most experienced, as well as Elkin. Elkin is our, our largest on election day. That is why in speaking with Chris and Jeremiah, Sydney explained to them how having a zero experience person, no matter who the person was, would be a very difficult job for them, for us, for voters. And they understood that.
So they agreed with that?
They understood that, but they wanted her to be a judge, and we felt that's good. We need new people coming in. So we did sort of agree together. Again, that's up to this board to determine though, but that did occur. Sydney, I know you're online. Anything you want to add about that meeting?
No, I don't think so, other than, so both parties submitted their list, and I believe everybody that, they submitted, do have on the list in front of you in some form or capacity, either as a judge or chief judge. And all of these precinct officials have been contacted too by our office, and they have confirmed that they are willing to serve the term, so of all elections in 2026. I know stuff comes up, and if somebody is sick or that sort of thing, we'll come back to you with a recommended replacement. But as of right now, this is the list that's been contacted that has agreed. And overall, most of them have had election experience. A lot of them 25 years or more of election experience.
And thank you for pointing that out, that everyone that was submitted did get worked into the chart they're holding.
So there was, and just follow-up question if I could. There was no other Republican potential judge appointed that could be put out of precinct and Dobson combined.
Sydney, I'm gonna let you answer that because I know you and Chris spoke about this judge, being unaffiliated a couple of times.
I'm sorry, Terrell, your question was trying to get somebody within precinct and Dobson combined?
Yeah, were there no, I guess nominated, Republican judges that could be put out of precinct and Dobson combined?
I do have, the party recommended Jennifer White, and you see her and Dobson combined. She's the Republican judge in that column. And
Yeah.
since the party recommended her, I did reach out to her and she declined. She still wants to work, but she did not want to be chief judge. So I would have put her in that slot if she was willing to do that, but yeah, she wasn't, and the unaffiliated was willing to work
Okay,
as chief judge.
thank you.
Yes, sir.
Any other questions? Good questions. Thank you.
And also just to remind the board that everyone here will get an invitation to the banquet in September just for appointed precinct officials. And at that time, they will take their oath at that banquet. You know, at that time, and then anyone who is not available at the banquet would then take their oath at the first training they attend.
Date, please.
For the banquet, I don't have that information, Paul, but Sydney, do you have that date? Because that's sort of after the 29th that my brain has shut off for after the 29th.
Give me just a second and I'll get that date. I'm sorry.
Okay, that's fine.
I'll get it.
Okay, right.
She's got it. She just,
That's all right. Thank you,
And
Sid.
Madam Director, approximately when does first training session come up?
our trainings will be early January as early voting will begin in February.
Okay.
Second week of February,
Yeah.
first day. So, I mean, bam, it's here.
So-
Filing is December 1st through 19th. So that will be, it'll be on.
We're gonna be on for sure.
And of course, the board, it's open to the public. Training is always open to the public. We would love to see people there. The board is always welcome to come to any of the trainings. So we will, I'm sure they will make that calendar available. I know it's already been set, but they'll make that available to you probably in December.
To our Madam Director's comments about being present, I would like to encourage everyone on our board to try your best to make an appearance during training. It's important that we show the interest and our precinct officials see the interest and the support. So I know there are day trainings and there are evening trainings to try to accommodate everybody. So if we can, you know, pick one or both that you can make the time to attend, I would appreciate it. And I know that our precinct officials will appreciate it. And I think our citizens will appreciate it as well. So thank you for trying to make the effort to attend.
And board, the poll worker banquet is September the 16th at 6 p.m. and it's going to be in the room next door, room A. Is
So
the plan?
9/16 at 6.
Yes.
Okay.
And then the plan is also we're going to go ahead and give the poll workers the training schedule for both the primary and the general election. So we'll have those dates for you as well.
You'll have those at that banquet.
Yes.
Wonderful. Okay,
If
thank you.
not before,
Good.
yeah, definitely.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
these top three positions of our precincts, to see the training that goes in to help prepare them and having knowledge and seeing what goes on there during primary or election day. This is a tough job. It's not easy. And I commend these folks for stepping up. And I commend the two party chairs for coming forward with a list that both has experienced people and also people that are going to come on board, and we hope that they stay for the next 20 years helping and doing the job, and that they get their first taste and they enjoy it.
Here, here.
Thank you.
It's tough.
It is.
And you know, when you look at this and you do see multiple folks with 14, 16, 10, 12,
17.
that says something. Yeah, that,
15 years.
and we really do, it takes a lot of work. And also, it's not just election years, you're trying to keep them engaged non-election years for Surrey County, since we don't have municipal elections. And that takes a lot of work and effort, but it pays off when you can have multiple year return precinct officials. Because yes, they get paid, but it might as well be volunteer for how many hours they work.
I think it's a little bit of a fellowship amongst all
sure
these
is.
folks and
It
and
certainly
has
is.
nothing to do with political party, and that's a good thing.
My best description is it's baptism by fire, from what I've witnessed. Because it is very demanding, and we do appreciate our citizens from all political persuasions to step up and serve in our county. So with that, does anybody have any other concerns for the list? Or questions about the list? Do we have a motion to approve the list?
You have a motion to approve the list as presented.
Do we have a second?
You do.
Mr. Comer? Mr. Field, thank you for the motion. Mr. Comer, thank you for the second. By hand raising, who all says yay? Any nays? Yays pass and motion approved. Here, here.
And we do thank the party chairs, Chris and Krista. It's so interesting. Easy for me to remember. But we do appreciate the timely response. We appreciate the questions. We appreciate the time that you all have, because also to a pleasant surprise, Terrell, I will say, I think everyone Sydney called that the party chair said they had spoken with, they had spoken with. And that was very refreshing. So it wasn't a cold call.
Not always been the case.
No,
Yeah.
so
right.
it really truly was a great, I'll say, team effort. So thank you all.
And this is good reading, what you also included of the
Yes,
General Statute 163-41. In full, as far as just what they're faced with and what they do have on their shoulders.
and
do.
Sydney did include this as well to the party chairs.
Good.
Sydney, anything else you need to add to that before we move on?
I don't think so. Thank you so much. And thanks to both the party chairs for working with me with this. I'm looking forward to it and going forward too in the future. I know I told Chris, and I'd like to mention to Krista too, anybody that you know of that's interested in working, even though this deadline is passed for chief judges and judges, we'd love to have them work as assistants. We'll still be recruiting those and need those for the upcoming 2026 elections. So thank you.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Director.
Thank you, Sydney.
We now move on to an update regarding the state's agreement with the DOJ for registration repair. Madam Director.
Yes, sir. And if you will see in the packet there, the registration repair project updates. Got a synopsis there of where we started, sort of where we are now. Andrew updated this yesterday with, I'm sure most of you all saw the North Carolina State Board of Elections announcement yesterday that letters began going out. So as of yesterday, August the 18th, the statewide total has come down to 83,540 from 103,000 approximately in right at a month. And also Surrey County, there are going to be 42 who have not provided HAVA compliant information. So as it stands right now, those voters will cast a provisional ballot until they provide that required information. Staff has also identified the precincts in which the affected voters live. So that way we can effectively train the precinct officials to that change and to know what to expect when that comes, because this will be new for our precinct officials.
Very good.
One more layer that they'll have to learn, but again, as Andrew has put so great to that it's going to be it'll be site specific. We will have that list for folks that check in, so they will know what to do. If those folks do show to vote. Within our district, we had a director reach out and say that they were asking the state board if we could pull DMV research. When we do provisional research, provisional ballots, we always check at the DMV portal. It's not everyone can get into it. It's specific to elections to see if that voter made an attempt to register after the deadline, whatever it may be. And yes, we can see that information, but as of today, that's not changed, correct? As of today, because I did see an email from Matt, but that had nothing to do with it, right? Okay. The state board has not ruled or spoke on that. So we are treating it that we cannot use that information because we do not have a signature with that information. That is information just to show whether they attempted to register to vote. So Surrey County Board of Elections feels like we are going to treat that we cannot use that until the state board tells us otherwise.
No, I agree.
We would have no document to scan into their voter registration record saying, oh, as of this date, we deemed you eligible and we pulled this number. There's no document to back that up within SEAMS that we would be able to scan in. So until we get anything different from the state board, we are not going to be able to use that information. And we don't know if anyone else in the state, but this one county is doing that, so.
Sure.
Good example of what we're talking about.
Mhm.
Yes, sir.
Sure.
Yes, Mr. Carter.
Question for Michelle. I'm delighted to hear that out of what 82,000 that in Surrey County, we only have 42 that are in question.
Mhm.
Is there anything that the State Board of Elections allows the county to do in contact or reaching out to these 42? Is that a yes or a no?
Well, these 42, of course, they'll get the letter. And the letter that you see attached, that state board sent, they can either come in person and bring this form with their missing information, or they can come in, fill out a voter registration form. Either one will get that corrected. If not, they will have to vote provisionally.
Do we know,
Nothing that the County Board of Elections can do as far as trying to reach out to these people?
Not according to the memo that the executive director put out. This
Right now.
is the registration repair process.
Does the county parties, can they reach out independently
Good question.
to the 42 in an attempt to tell them, please get into the Board of Elections, or please send this in? You are not fully registered.
Mhm.
Can the county, two county parties do that?
We have already had a request from one party today for a report showing that, yes.
So then I assume they'll use that to have an outreach.
Yes, and just know too, Dwayne, that I will remind you that we had 320 originally. So staff scoured those 320 records to make sure there wasn't something within. And that's how we got to the 265, am I right, Andrew? Yeah, we got that down to the 265.
Okay.
Yeah, so, and then 42 have not provided any HAVA identification. So everyone beyond that 42 at least has some HAVA document that we could pull that information to either get the last four of their social or their driver's license.
do we know that those 42, I mean, that the letters were delivered to those people?
We've not been given anything from state board to say, here's a living document that's going to be updated to every 24 hours, whatever. Now, they may come up with that by the end of the week, but so far, no.
So what we've been requested and required to do is mail out
No, sir.
No.
The state board's mailing
State
them.
board did that
but
first, yeah.
In the letter, it says that the county would do the fix.
Right.
But that letter must come back to the county or either a voter registration. Whether it be by mail, in person, whatever it may be.
Okay.
Andrew, anything I have left out that we want to highlight?
I was just gonna say, when I do get that report together, I could easily just like send that to both party chairs.
That'd be great, sure.
Let them do the legwork.
Absolutely.
Listed.
It needs,
Like seeing
and that
how-
needs to be done.
It's a public record, so,
Yeah, sure.
yeah.
Yes,
Now, I have a follow-up question to that. When you send out these letters, let's say they're undeliverable or so, their mark doesn't live here. Does the post office return these to you or how does that go?
Let's go back to
It
Rob.
sounds like that's a nerve. but-
In a perfect world, they would.
Okay, all right,
Well,
all right.
but we had a case,
Yes, sometimes.
we did have a
Sometimes.
case where a person had two, they had a mailbox as well as a physical address.
Mhm.
And we sent it to the physical address, is that correct?
The mail's
Michelle?
not
Happens to
delivered.
me still today.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It has,
it has to go to one or the other, not both.
correct.
But that's when I brought up the point of maybe there should be two letters sent, one to each known possibility.
But I think you're right. In this number, I know it will be work on the party chairs, but also that's not a large number
No,
Yeah.
no, no.
in all reality. Go ahead, Andrew.
Well, if you're down to 42, you know, I think the parties could,
Yeah, could handle that.
Mhm.
yeah,
They might not even be in the county anymore for all you know.
True.
So when I do that report, I can put both the mailing address and the residential that we have, so that way then you could try to contact them. If they don't have the
Okay.
letter, you can contact them.
Thank you.
'Cause I'm
Wouldn't
gonna
it be
put
great
that
to
in-
see zero?
Yeah, I'll put that in the
that
minutes.
should be our goal.
That Andrew then will provide that to both party chairs.
Okay.
well, you'd like to have the folks, if they want to be registered and they want to vote, you'd like for them to have the opportunity to be able to vote.
Absolutely.
If
That's our
they choose,
goal.
if they choose to, that's.
That's our purpose.
That equates to less provisional ballots for us.
It does.
Absolutely.
And minimizes citizens in the county who are voting, that their vote will be counted.
Well, there'll be less confusion come election
Will.
day and the count afterwards,
Yeah.
and people saying, oh, this thing's rigged. It's,
Yeah.
there's something wrong
That-
here.
Obviously, anything we can do within the requirements to minimize provisional ballots, it's in the best interest of all voters in the county.
Absolutely.
So the true purpose behind the board is to make sure that every legitimate citizen that can vote gets his vote
Absolutely,
and count, and it's counted. That's our goal as a unit.
it is. Absolutely. All right, any other questions about the registration repair project?
No.
Very good. We now move into other business. Any members of the board or others have something they'd like to add in other business? No other business? With that, may we have a motion to close the open session?
So moved. I'd second that.
Mr. Carter places the motion, Mr. Comer is second. And by vote of hands. It is unanimous. So moved. We have closed our open session. Do we have a motion?
Yeah, you,
We live?
Yes.
yeah, turn that on. Mhm.
We have concluded our closed session and may we have a motion to go into open session.
You have a motion to move to open session.
Mr. Fields makes the motion,
Second.
second by Mr. Stevens, vote. Yay, no nays, motion carries. We are back into open session. Unless there's any other discussion, do we have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Mr. Stevens makes the
Wayne.
motion. Mr. Carter
Second.
makes the second to adjourn. All say aye. Aye, no nays, motion carries. We